I've just come across a case from New York City, which is obviously going to bring about a lot of talking points with the American race debate. And to be quite honest with something like this, it's kind of a reminder that unfortunately, as much as people might want that America hasn't become post-racial politics, it's still very much there. Um, so basically, a white woman had her dog in a section of Central Park in New York City. I understand is called the Rambles. And she remonstrated with a black man by the name of Christian Cooper. The white woman is Amy Cooper. They're no relation, it's just a coincidence. Cooper's quite a common name. Anyway, she was pretty hysterical and she said she felt threatened. Who knows why? According to Christian Cooper, his account is that he simply asked her to put her dog on a leash because in that particular part of the park, it's the regulation state that you have to keep dogs on a leash. He actually explained that this is a particular nature reserve area, and that was and if people are letting their dogs run around, there's an obvious problem with that. A lot of parks all over the world have those regulations. Local parks here in Sunderland have those regulations. That's that's not surprising. Anyway, she was basically claiming that an African American guy is threatening her. He's clearly not making any threats. He's keeping a good distance from her. In fact, he says, "Please stay away from me." Um, yeah, and it really speaks for itself. Well, I can think of at least four things that were problematic here. Firstly, she threatened to falsely accuse an innocent man of assaulting her, which is just despicable. Two, she's breaking the park regulations. Three, she's wasting police time because there's no crime taking place, yet she's phoning them up when they could be dealing with real crimes. And four, animal cruelty. Well, actually, that would be the real crime in this case because the dog that she has it was clearly choking. It's very distressed, and interestingly, she's handed it over back rather to the animal shelter that she got it from, which indicates to me she knew full well that she would have it taken off her from what we see in the video. Now she's come out with an apology. Apparently she's lost her $170,000 a year job. I don't know what job that is, but she's come out with an apology which seemed to me extremely flimsy. She said that, "Oh, I'm very sorry for what I've done, and words are just words. But I shouldn't have said it. I'm very sorry to the man and his family. Not good enough. Not good enough. Words are just words." My response looking at this is what a stupid, I won't say it, bitch. It's absolutely disgusting, entitled behaviour. Um, and I have to be totally honest, I've been critical of the concept of white privilege, and I still am because I don't think you can generalize all white people. But people like this, a white woman who's clearly in a very comfortable job, who's literally threatened to make false accusations against a black man minding his own business or trying to enjoy a peaceful walk. It's hard not to see an entitled mentality there. So I don't think it's good enough that she just loses her job. I think she needs to be charged. Whatever the legislation provides for, making false accusations, for example. In Britain, we have legislation that deals with miscarriages of justice. I.e., you make a false accusation against someone, you can be charged with. Um, there's a term for it. It temporarily eludes me. Perverting the courts of justice. That's it. I'm sure there'd be a similar concept over there. But anyway, it's disgraceful. So, Amy Cooper, you deserve all the slack that you get. What you done was plain for everyone to see. And your apology, I'm afraid it just doesn't come across as sincere. I think you're only sorry because you got caught. I mean, the fact that she says words are just words shows that she doesn't really take it seriously. So really, I've no sympathy for anything that comes in her direction short of violence. I think she should be prosecuted for making false accusations. One newspaper, I forget which publication, argued she could lose her job. Well, she has lost her job, in fact. He could have lost his life. Knowing what happens over there. In fact, he quoted Ahmed Arbery, the Ahmed Arbery case. I mean, in his video, he came across as a very reasonable, calm individual. He didn't come across as some criminal or thug, you know. That's the thing about this case. We're not talking about some young gang member who was acting in an intimidating way. Although I would put a caveat to all of this. Yes, this is an entitled white woman, no question about it. But there will be other white women out there who are revolted by this woman's behaviour. So that's the only caveat. We can't generalize. But unfortunately, when there are entitled white women, and frankly, they usually are women, who come out with this attitude, that has echoes to history as well. And it's hard to ignore that when you consider that a lot of the lynchings in the Deep South against black men were because they looked at white women in the wrong way, because white women made false accusations against them. That was very often what the motivation for lynchings were in the Deep South in history. And I'm not suggesting that's the case here, but that's the sort of thing people think of. Shame on you, Amy Cooper. I don't think losing a job is enough. I think she needs to be prosecuted because she'll very likely just go into another job. She needs to really feel consequences for what she's done, legal consequences.